Hello everybody and welcome to another Battleground Games Live. We're live even if we're not playing from Battleground. Hi, I'm Andrew.
I'm Amanda.
And every week we get together and we play different games on stream. We play board games, card games, miniature war games, role-playing games, all kinds of games.
Yeah.
We used to do it from our home away from home, Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts, which is your friendly local game store in the greater Boston, Massachusetts area. There's actually two other locations. There's one down in Norton, near the Xfinity Center, and there's one up in Saugus, right on Route 1, just past the Red Roof Inn. So if you're looking for games, it's a fun place to hang out, although, of course, hanging out is difficult in these difficult times, which is why we're here in our dining room instead of in the store. I actually spent some time in the loft, which is where we used to stream from. I don't get, because of reduced staffing, I don't get a lot of time to get away from the register when I'm at work these days. So I went in super early the other day because I had a snafu I had to deal with. And I ended up with some extra time. So I spent some time cleaning up in the loft, and I think nobody has been there since Extra Life. I am pretty
Derek
sure.
might have been up in his office.
Yeah, but nobody's been using
the loft itself. Yeah, the loft as a loft. Yeah.
So yeah, it was nice to get that organized a little bit. I actually hauled a vacuum up the stairs, cleaned. Someday we'll be able to return and stream again from there. I've been looking at older streams and I missed that lighting setup.
Yeah.
The table was cumbersome.
Yeah, it's a real big table.
It was still a good place to stream from. Anyhow, welcome to the stream. I am just cleaning up a little bit of stuff. This is the computer that rebooted itself last week in the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get it.
Keep that from happening again?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
You have to let it do its updates some other time.
Yeah.
You have to turn it on when it's not stream time so that it will do its updates not during stream time.
Yeah.
That's what I do at work. I leave my computer on so that it will do it when we're not open and trying to help people.
Anyhow, I think I've got things organized here. I want to make sure that our chatbot is up and running. Yep, seems to be working. So we've been playing a lot of escape games. We've been playing a lot of the unlock games.
I like those.
They're fantastic. But we've played all the ones that we have access to right now.
Yeah.
So we're ready to play some other stuff. And last week, Overboss came out, which is the newest game set in the Boss Monster world. It is not actually a Boss Monster. Yeah, it's not part of that game. There's many expansions for Boss Monster, including a new one that I don't own yet. And we have the big Boss Monster lunch tray, lunchbox thing. But this is set in that universe and uses the pixelated art style of Boss Monster, but is not, strictly speaking, a Boss Monster game. And it just came out. I spent some time today reading the instructions, so I know how to play at least. And
I don't.
Yeah.
I had to work.
Yeah. And I just spent a bunch of time punching out a whole bunch of things, which is what Amanda is sorting now, is all the various things that come in this. So there's going to be a bunch of these that say 2 on them. Those are the mini bosses.
Okay.
So they can go in a stack by themselves. So yeah, the story behind Battleground and Boss Monster, which is a game I really enjoy.
Yeah, I really like Boss Monster.
And have played an awful lot of. The first PAX that Amanda and I worked at the Battleground booth, we weren't at the time working for Battleground.
No.
But we spent the majority of that PAX at the booth. That was the one where you learned seasons on the fly so that you could demo it.
You can't learn seasons on the fly, by the way. It's
so this was
really complicated game.
PAX East. Oh,
it was the first one it was the first one in the BCEC.
Okay, yeah.
It was the second one in the BCEC.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it was the third PAX East.
Yep.
And Amanda and I had begun hanging out at Battleground between the second PAX East, when we got back into Magic, and the third PAX East. So this would probably be 2014 or so.
Somewhere around there.
But Boss Monster had just come out. It was brand new. And Battleground, I think, actually got in touch with Brotherwise Games. And
Barry got us onto it.
Yeah?
Yeah, it was Barry.
I miss Barry.
He was super, super into it. He was like, this game's going to be awesome, and you should sell it. And me and my girlfriend, like, we love it, and we know how to play it, and we will totally demo it. So they arrived ready to demo Boss Monster all weekend long.
And we got so many copies of Boss Monster.
So many copies.
So many copies. It was like an entire wall in our booth. And we sold out on Friday.
Yeah, it was gone.
It was the perfect PAX
day one.
game.
Gone on day
PAX
one.
Game because it looks awesome. It's got that great pixelated art style. It's a relatively small box.
Yep.
So easy to throw into your PAX bag and carry around with you. It's relatively inexpensive.
Yeah.
It's at that sort of magic price point for a PAX impulse buy.
Yep.
So it was like the perfect game, and we had a whole bunch of us demoing it.
Yeah, we all loved it, so we were all happy to play it. And then we sold out of it, and I remember Barry being like, well, we got to learn something new now.
Yeah.
Which is sort of how Andy and I started just learning new games as we went, because you can never count on the thing that you're ready to demo lasting till day 2. You just can't, or day 3, or now day 4. You just can't count on it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it really doesn't. And you got to be ready to just hop in and learn something new. That's how I learned Colt Express.
Oh, yeah. Colt Express is a great one. Pretty much every PAX, Amanda and I end up learning some game.
Yeah. Learning something new so we can do it. You taught yourself that Marvel game this time around. Well, last time around, a year ago.
The Marvel card game.
I can't believe that's a year ago.
I'm
going to make myself sad.
So that PAX was the year that I actually learned 2 games, I believe. Because after we sold out of Boss Monster, we needed something else.
You ended up doing Netrunner, right?
I think that's the one where I played Netrunner.
I'm pretty sure that's the year you played Netrunner. Yeah.
And I also learned Seven Wonders.
Year 2 was Netrunner.
Okay.
I remember that because I was feeling useless.
So maybe that was the year that we learned X-Wing Minis.
Yeah.
We went back and learned X-Wing Minis in our room, and then demoed that for the rest of the PAX. Anyhow, so we love Boss Monster, and the store has a long history with it. And I was really excited that there's a new Boss Monster game coming out, and here it is. So I picked it up, and I brought it home, and now we can play it. Now, having read the instructions, I will say it is a game for 1 to 6 players, I believe. Up to 6 players?
I mean, you can say that as a question mark. I can't answer.
Well, it depends on how many of these boards there are. Let's see. There's 5.
So
1
there
to
you go.
5 players. There you go. Perfect. Probably says on the box. I just can't see it from this angle. But this is
1 to
one of
5.
those games where you open the box and you discover it's got a pad of paper in it.
Oh boy.
And that pad of paper has these scoring rules. That's generally a sign of a longish end game, and also a game where you need to know the rules before you start, because if you're picking it up as you go, you're not going to get a good score.
Scores.
Exactly. So,
like when a certain person taught us how to play Ex Libris.
Sure.
Hey, he didn't explain the scoring. He knew how to score, and he kept the scorecard.
Yeah.
So made it a little difficult to know what exactly was the best scoring strategy. Just saying.
So my thought is, let's play it as a single-player game.
Sure.
And just go for a high score. And that way we can play through a game. It's
we'll
not
learn
going
the
to take
mechanic
very
of it.
long. We'll learn the mechanics of it. And I'll sort of talk about how scoring works as we go.
I see they have a lovely game trays insert.
Yes! Oh, I love these. Actually, let's go to overhead cam.
Game trays is amazing.
We'll show off the insert for the box.
And when I say game trays, it's a trademarked thing. It's with a Z.
So this is the insert for Overboss game trays. And it has
They come with
spaces
lids and
for all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
So,
so
Amanda just
nice.
spent, I don't know, 10 minutes sorting all the tokens and things out of this box.
And it looks like they go in the wells.
Exactly.
And then the tiles that go with them go above them.
So the basic mechanic of Overboss is you're going to have a player board, and you're going to be drafting lands to put into it, terrain to put into it, and monsters to put on that terrain. And it comes with a variety of different types of terrain.
So you've got your sky stuff, your cloud
sky
city,
castles, there's
caves,
castles, all these
desert,
different things.
graveyard, volcano, fort.
And each one has an associated creature that wants to live there. So, for example, witches. Here's a witch.
Want to live in the swamp.
And you can sort of see they're color-coded, but they also have unique icons for anybody who has trouble with color coding. So the little mushroom there is a swamp, and there's a mushroom on the witch, so you know the witch goes with the swamp. So let's start by putting everything into the box, and then we can take out the lands we need.
The swamps. Like vampires want to go in the castle.
Exactly. So we'll get all the witches and put them in a well, and then we'll just put the swamps on top of them. Yeah. There's also one matching crystal. So you want to get that crystal and make sure it stays with the vampires. So yes, this box, very nice. Everything has a place and a place for everything, and they all sort of go together well, except that I'm at an awkward angle here, so.
Yeah, you're also doing it I think.
Oh, they're supposed to go
wrong way around.
Sideways, yeah.
Where's the crystal for that one?
Right here.
Oh, God, Andy.
Yeah, anyways. And then there's generic ones that don't have a home. Those are the mini bosses and the portals. And I think those must go here.
Yeah.
Or actually, they could go with the dungeons, because dungeons don't have a creature type.
Yep.
But we'll keep those out, because every game uses the dungeons, the mini bosses, and the portals, and then use 5 other types of terrain. So these are the angel folk, or the bird folk.
Yep. You're missing one.
In the clouds.
Yep.
So the reason I don't want...
It leans. There's
Oh.
See?
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're looking at it from the wrong side to
Yeah.
notice it.
There's a little inclination there. An incline.
Yes.
Cool. One thing I do like about this already, having only read the instructions and not actually played a game of it yet, is that it has a lot of variation to its play. Yeah, the reason we have an extra space is there's a promotional extra land type that doesn't come in the box, and you have to
Kickstart or
Yeah,
see it in a
exactly.
convention. And
Exactly. Hello, Lobster. Welcome. Yeah, this is a game where you put the game away before you play it. Perfect.
well, I mean, we won't have to do that again.
Yeah, once
It's
we've
just
got
because
everything
Andy
where it
had only
goes.
just punched things out.
Fantastic. There's also a nice bag that's going to hold tokens while we play. All right, so let's do. Those are the
bosses.
So that's what I was saying. There's a variety of ways to play.
These have wells underneath them too.
Ah, okay. So you could put the mini bosses and the portals there.
Yeah.
Keep the mini bosses and portals out though, because
Yeah.
we're going to use those. All right, so let's get out a board. We're going to play a single player game. That way everybody gets an idea of how it works, and we'll just try to maximize our score. But there's a lot of... So the instructions have quick start, right? That teaches you the basic mechanics of the game and how to get going in it. And then they have additional rules you can add on. So it recommends when you start playing that you play with the 5 basic lands, which are the caves, swamps, castles, desert, graveyards, and camps. No, maybe you don't play with castles in the basic game. Hang on. Forest, caves, graveyards, swamps, and camps. So we'll start with that. So forests, caves, and graveyards. Desert. Graveyards are there. Not volcanoes, those are advanced land.
Castles? Camps? Okay.
And swamps. Those are the 5 basic lands.
Oh, I lost my baffle. No.
And then the more advanced lands have advanced rules. They have special things that happen when you use them. So they're intended to be used for advanced play. And the game comes with terrain selection cards. And the cards tell you what pieces come with each terrain. So here's the cave card. Yeah. There we go. Cave card. And it says for the caves, you need all the caves, all the dragons like caves, and the cave crystal. Oops. Got a couple of command cards mixed in with the terrain cards. So what you can do is you can, instead of choosing your terrain ahead of time, you can use the terrain selection cards, just shuffle them, and draw 5 random terrains. Okay. I am, sorry, spending some time sorting cards. Done. And then once you've played a couple of games with the advanced terrains, you can add in the Overboss cards. And each player plays as a different boss. And bosses have two things. They have a additional goal that gets you extra points at the end of the game, and they have a reveal mechanic, which happens, so your boss is hidden. If you choose to reveal it during your turn, you get to do whatever the reveal mechanic is, but then everybody knows what your goal is after that. So you have that ability to do something extra, but then everybody knows what your hidden goal is. So those are hidden goals and extra reveal mechanics. And there are command cards, which you can add in as well for an even more complex game. And command cards are ways to mess with your opponent. So you get an array of command cards that you put out, and if you can build the illustration on that card in any orientation, so this is 3 of the same terrain next to each other, either horizontally or vertically, then you get to do the thing that command card lets you do. In this case, it's a demolish, which lets you destroy a tile, either on your board or an opponent's board, which is kind of mean. Overthrow lets you swap 2 tiles, and that can be swapping 2 tiles you own or swapping with an opponent and stealing one of their tiles.
Mean.
Yeah, these are kind of mean. So we're not gonna use those. Put those back in the box for now. But definitely that's one of the ways that this game sort of expands. In single player mode, you can play what we're going to do right now, which is just score attack. Try and get the highest score possible. Or you can play a single player campaign.
Ooh.
Yes, they've written an entire campaign, which is 6 levels to go through. It comes on one of these things that came in the box. Level 1 through 6. Here it is. So this is the campaign. And when you start, you determine how many hearts you have, and you play at least 6 games. And for every game you play, you lose a heart. If you fail to achieve the goal of that level, you have to play that level again until you beat it. So depending on what difficulty you've chosen, you might not win the campaign. And then as you play the campaign, you're earning villainy icons, which is anytime you meet all 3 goals in a level, and soul gems, which are achieved by doing various achievements during the game. It's basically, they call it side quests, but they're achievements that you can accomplish as you play. So that's the single player sort of ultimate, is playing the campaign. And if you go online to brotherwisegames.com, you can print out the campaign, because then you can write on it as you're playing. So that seems very cool, and it's definitely something I'm going to be playing with. But to start out with, let's do a basic game. So the first thing you do is you get your 5 terrains, all the monsters and crystals that come with those terrains. You get all the mini bosses, and you get all the portals, and you get all the dungeons. And then you get the bag. What do I do with the bag? There it is. And you put all the little tokens in that bag. And then you take all the big tokens, turn them face down, shuffle them, and make a draw pile from them. These all nice and mixed up. Amanda, do you want to shuffle all the lands? Yes, turn them all face down and shuffle them up. And if anybody's in chat and wants to help us, if you're familiar with the game, you can give us suggestions. I'm going to sort of talk through as we play, ultimately how things score and how we want to, what we want to do to maximize our score. Okay. I knew there was a change in the draft portion of it.
I mean, these are already sort of randomized.
No, the whole
mixed
thing.
all together.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Here.
The whole thing needs to be shuffled up.
Those.
Yeah, I very much appreciate the box.
Yeah.
Because you have all of these little pieces. It's nice to have them all. Have a place to keep everything.
Yeah.
And keep it organized. It's got a little lid for the, well, that I showed that off already.
Yeah.
So that everything stays in place. In theory, things don't fall out of their assigned pockets. Though I probably wouldn't advise shaking the box an awful lot. All right, so let's just make a stack or two of these. That'll be the draw pile. And then you put together a shop, a lineup of 4. Hopefully these are randomized. I sort of smoothed them around a bit. Hopefully we don't get huge pockets of all one land type.
We'll find out.
Yep. I actually do want to try and play a campaign. Like, just looking at it, I'm like, oh, it looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are our draw pile, and we don't have to draw from any specific part of it. So our initial terrains are a dungeon, a camp, a desert, and another dungeon. And then each of these gets paired with a random token from the token bag. So the dungeon has a mini boss. The camp has a goblin, I believe. Goblins live in camps.
I guess.
The desert has a skeleton. And another goblin over here. Actually, I should scooch everything down so...
It ends up behind us.
Yeah, right.
So.
Maybe if I put the line up over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work. So now the basic play of the game is, on your turn, you take one pair, and it has to be the 2 that are stuck with each other. So if you want this skeleton, you need to take that desert with it.
Okay.
And then you put those on your board. And all the rest of the game is rules about how you put things on the board. For example, if you take a dungeon,
Types lead to the boss.
Right.
Sort of deal. Yeah.
So that's why I put it away from the edges so that I would have space to put lands against it. Caves get 1 point plus 2 points for each mountain that they're touching.
Okay.
So you can see along the edge of the board here, there's mountains and oceans. So you want your caves to be touching mountains. Swamps are the same for water. Camps are scored based on the number of different colored flags you have at the end of the game. So this is a purple camp.
Gotcha.
Deserts, you want to build as large a desert as possible. So
Okay.
the more deserts are touching each other, the higher your score is going to get. So that's sort of, there's different ways the different tiles score. So I'm going to draft, we've got 2 goblins out here, but I've already built a dungeon and I don't want to build another dungeon. So I'm going to go ahead and draft this camp, I guess. And I'm going to, I'll put it over here in the corner where it's out of the way. Actually, I'll put it right next to the dungeon. And that skeleton comes with it.
Okay.
And then because we're playing 1 player, this goes away. In a non-1 player game, you just refresh the line. But in 1 player, it moves away. So the furthest thing goes away. Now we've got a forest with another goblin. And we've got another forest with a sandworm. So we've got a skeleton. Forests, you get points based on how many forests are on the board. They don't have to be touching each other.
Okay.
So deserts need to be touching each other. Forest is just how many you have. So I'm going to take a forest with a goblin. And I'll stick it here. And now things speed up a little bit because we know how the basics of play work.
Yeah.
There's another camp. That's a yellow camp with a witch. There's a cave with a sandworm. So you've probably noticed that because things are drawn randomly, you don't
don't
always
match
get
up
the
necessarily.
creatures that you want.
Yeah.
In the end game, you're going to get scoring based on how many creatures you have that are on their own terrain type, but that's minimal. The real way to get big scores, big points from creatures, is by building, what do they call them? Not mobs, bands. And a band of creatures is any column or row of creatures.
Okay.
So you want to draft like type creatures and put them in columns and rows with each other. So I'm going to grab a sandworm and a forest. I'll stick them over here.
Excuse me.
Scooch things down. Get new tiles. I do love that the art for each individual tile is different. even if they're the same type of thing. All right, so we've got a cave with a sandworm, a cave with a kobold, and a dungeon with a sandworm, and this yellow camp with a witch. I'm going to take the sandworm because I can put it here, and then I've got a band of sandworms because I'll have 2 sandworms that are next to each other. And I've put that cave next to mountains, so it's getting bonus points from that. What we have not drawn yet are any of the portals or I'm just not drawing them. There's portals and
they're in there,
and crystals in the bag. But
I feel like maybe cave and sandworm to go here.
Oh yes, definitely. Yeah, the cave won't get any extra points, but it'll make that sandworm band bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a 3rd land type against the dungeon. Yeah. So yeah, you're getting the hang of it.
I know what I'm about.
Yeah. You're no slouch.
I've played a tile drafting game before.
Yeah, you've clobbered me at King Domino in the past. I would say that the scoring for this is significantly more complex than King Domino. Ooh, another sandworm.
Yeah.
Yes, please. Oh, and a mini boss.
Neat.
So yeah, definitely take the sandworm.
Yeah, I'm saying sandworm and over here. Yeah.
Yep. Now we've got a 4-band sandworm. That's pretty awesome. That one goes away. Scooch down.
Pick up.
See, this is another purple camp, so there's no advantage to getting
unless
a purple
unless
camp.
it had something really cool in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's got a dragon.
Yeah.
All right. So there's not really anything great here.
No.
I guess we take the mini boss.
Yeah, I think the mini boss is the way to go here.
Yeah. So
and if we put it next to mountains, yeah, we'll at least get some bonuses for that.
I know in the flavor of the game, the mini bosses have identities. Our first swamp. And our first graveyard.
Ooh. Let's see what's in them.
There's a portal in the swamp.
Oh no. We may need that.
And, wow, a skeleton in the graveyard.
Ooh.
Quite handy. All right.
I think we take portal and swamp first.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Where do we want to put that?
Let's put it by the ocean, because swamps get
a bonus with the ocean.
For being next to the ocean.
Well, do we want to put it next to ocean here, or do we want to put it over here?
I think here, because there's 2 oceans.
Yeah.
So, how do portals work? Portals don't actually go out here.
Now you're thinking with portals.
Yeah, they go here.
And cover up one of those.
Exactly. And then on your turn, you can use a portal to move any 2 creatures.
Neat.
So you could swap creatures around.
And put them on a panel that's better and make a row or a column of creatures.
Or you could take a mini boss out of your outpost here and stick it out here. Because that mini boss is going to be 2 points at the end of the game.
Yeah. And I would assume this is where the crystals
go. Yeah.
So now, why is there a broken portal?
No,
is it
there's
just
3
flavor?
portal spaces. It's just flavor.
Oh, okay.
There's no actual limit on the number of portals you can have.
You can just keep putting portals on top of each other if you really wanted to.
Yeah. But it is important when you use the portal to remember to turn it over.
Yeah.
To indicate that it's been used. All right, so this falls off. Scooch down.
Unless something real good comes out of here, I think we take that graveyard.
Cave and forest.
Because we can put that over here and
max out that dungeon.
Yeah. And it gets points for what?
So graveyards are, they each have a different score value. So this one is a 2-point graveyard.
Okay.
But there's other ones that are different point values, 1 to 3. And Whomever has the most graveyards gets 5 points. In a
And
one-player
the
game,
next highest gets 2 points.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the king and prince, or the queen and princess, or
Yeah,
whatever.
The ruler and the
The
heir.
less ruler.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one. So yeah, in a one-player game, all of those are 2 points,
Gotcha.
which is fine.
So
But do you want to put that over here?
I think so, because then that maxes out that dungeon.
Yep.
And we can always grab this forest up here with the other skeleton to put up here.
And then we have 2 bands of skeletons?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Good thinking. Okay, so we'll put that there. Another swamp. And
Another
a forest.
I like that all the tiles are a little bit different looking.
Exactly, I was saying that.
It's like a King Domino thing. It's very nice.
Unique to each tile.
Yeah. Even like all the monsters, they're a little bit different. Like, look at them.
Yeah.
Not all the sandworms have differences. The skeletons have differences. It's the same basic monster, but each tile is unique.
So you were thinking this forest and the skeleton?
Yeah. Because the forest, it doesn't matter where they are.
Yep.
They just need to exist, right?
Yep.
So yeah, now we have 2 bands of skeletons.
Yep. Last 2. Game ends when you've filled up the entire board.
Okay, what creatures do we have in them?
This cave has another
A portal.
And we have a crystal. And it's the forest crystal.
Oh, well, we
man.
got to take it. We got to take it.
Is there anything that's going to score us more? So if there was a skeleton, we could put it here and increase this band.
Yeah, but we don't have another
But
skeleton.
we don't have another skeleton. If we had a swamp, we do have a swamp.
Yeah.
So let's think. A swamp is going to score for itself and the other swamp, and for that
Yeah,
ocean.
but we don't have
but
another
the-
portal, and that sandworm gets us nothing there.
Yeah. And the way crystals work is they are 1 point for every one of that type you have.
And we have 4 of them.
Yeah.
So that's going to be 4 points on its own, right?
Yeah. Which is more than we would get for this, I believe.
The swamp bonus.
Yeah, because the swamp would get us 1, 2, 3. Well, it would get us 4 points either way.
Yeah.
That desert's not next to another desert. I guess it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It
Yeah.
doesn't really make any difference at this stage.
Yeah, there's not really a
Let's
whole
take
lot.
the crystal just so that we can put
Actually-
a crystal in there.
How many forests do we have? We have
4?
If we have 5 forests, we get the maximum number of points for forests.
Oh, you're right.
So if we take
That
that
would be
forest
5
instead,
points.
yeah,
You're
Take
right.
that
We would
forest
get
with
5
the-
points for the forest.
with the dragon.
Yep. Dragon gets us nothing, but the
'Cause it
forest
goes- it
maxes
goes
out the
up.
Forests. All right. So we're done building.
Yep.
Now we score, and we can use one of the scorecards if you want. You can print more of these if you need to, but there's quite a lot of them in the pad, and they are arranged so that they're generic what terrain types.
So it
you
doesn't
have.
matter which ones you're using for
Right,
your game.
exactly. So for this game we have forest, swamp,
Camp,
camp,
cave,
cave.
grave.
Did we take a graveyard?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
It's over here. It has a skeleton on it.
All right. So for our forests, we
Yeah.
get 15 points because we have 5 of them.
We sure do.
Nice.
Yeah, it would have been nice to get the 15 points and the forest crystal, but
That would have been
they
overkill.
were out at the end of the game.
Yeah,
So
exactly. For the swamp, we get 1 point for each ocean,
it's 2.
1 point for each swamp that's touching it, which is none, and 1 point for the swamp itself.
So 3
it's
points.
3 points. For the camp, we get 1 point because we have 1 camp.
One lonely camp.
And those go up logarithmically. So for 1 camp, it's 1 point. For 2 camps, it's 4. 2 different types of camps. So
Yeah.
they have to be different flags. For 3, it's 9. For 4, it's 16.
Okay.
Caves.
We have 3 caves.
Yep.
2 of them are next to
touching
mountains.
mountains.
Yep.
So that's
1, 2, 3,
4, 5, 6,
5.
7.
Yep.
For our
graveyard?
no. Oh, yeah, so I'm sorry. Our graveyard.
We have the most graveyards.
Yeah, but it's a 1-player game, so it's 2 points.
Aw.
Oh, plus 2 points, so 4 points.
Yeah.
Yep, because it's a 2-point graveyard.
Yep.
For our dungeon is touching 4 different land types.
Yep.
And is 1 point, so that is 5 points total for our dungeon.
Yep. Now, mini bosses.
Mini bosses. We
We
have
have 2 mini bosses.
2, so that's
we
4
do.
points. Crystals, we've got none.
No.
Matching monsters.
Yeah.
Do we have anybody who's in their land type?
1. We have the skeleton in the graveyard.
Okay, that's a point.
We'll
So
take
it's
it.
not- it's a point.
I'll take the
You don't
point
want to
from
get
it.
carried away, I think.
Having
trying to
it
match
here made
creatures.
it worth getting because
Oh,
we
yeah.
ended up with the point off of that
Exactly.
too.
Yeah.
I don't think anything else we could have taken at the time would have given us more points
Yeah.
in the end.
Bands. So, where's the...
We have this nonsense here.
Yeah, exactly. That's our biggest band. I'm looking for the scoring, which is on the back of the... There we are. So a band of 4 is worth 7 points, so that's 7. A band of 2 is worth 2 points, so 8, 9, 10, 11. Because we've got 3 bands, right? And then you score each category separately because that's the tiebreakers. So I need a calculator. There we go. We don't get a boss score because we're not playing with the boss. Our total score is 51 points.
Nice.
And according to the single player instructions, 51 points is mini boss.
Hey, not bad. It's our first game.
Yep.
And we were playing with the basic land types.
Exactly. Exactly.
May I see the thingy?
Oh, sure.
Cool.
Looking at the different
Yeah.
adventures in the campaign.
I'll take a mini boss for our first run through the game.
Yeah, what are the different levels? I think there's 7 different levels.
Minion, monster, mini boss, boss monster, overboss, dark deity, and abomination.
It's kind of cool. If you look on the back, you get a title at the end of your 6 game or your 6 level campaign, and the title is based on
Number
how
of villainy
well you did
icons and number of soul gems.
and what level you chose.
Yeah. Neat.
Do you want to play again with the basic everything, and maybe do a 2-player game, or do you
I
want
like
to?
playing 1 player.
Okay.
1 player's fun.
Do you want to add in a?
Yeah, let's do a more difficult.
Well, let's do the first game of the campaign.
Sure. So we need forests, which we already have, swamps, which we already have. It's the same basic ones. We don't have to
it's the
swap
basics in
anything
level
else.
1.
Cool.
Yep.
And our boss is Kazana.
Okay, I'm gonna shuffle up all these doobers.
There's Kazana.
I assume we get to reveal her whenever.
I'm reading.
Okay.
And we have 3 goals.
Yes.
We have the Dark Forest, Scheme 1. Build a group of 3+ forest tiles. At least one forest must have a matching kobold.
Ah, that's tricky. We didn't have any kobolds at all in our last game.
Swamplandia, Scheme 2. Build 3+ swamp tiles worth 9+ points. And score.
Totaling 9+,
Yep.
I assume, because you can't build a single swamp worth 9 points.
Yeah. Score, which is Scheme 3, get more than 50 points.
Hey, we beat that. We did that in our first game, and we weren't even trying.
Yeah, neat.
Okay, so we want forests and swamps.
So your goal is to
And we
become
want
the
to
most
beat 50.
fearsome overboss by defeating the heroes of Arcadia and claiming their soul gems. Bonus soul gems are earned by completing schemes and side quests in a campaign of 6 levels. So we get extra gems
Yep.
for doing it.
And actually, let's use the one that I printed out, because then we can write on it.
Yeah. I don't know where that is. Neat.
Here you go. If
I
you
have a pen.
Yep. The page 2 has the side quests, which are
Gotcha.
the achievements.
Okay. All right. So, your goal is to become the most fearsome overboss, blah, blah, blah. Each play of a level is a game of Overboss using the 3x4 map. To start a campaign, choose a difficulty.
Since it mentioned the 3x4, another thing you can change
Is the size.
of your map.
Neat.
Yeah, you can play a 4x4, which is going to be a longer game, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Choose a difficulty. Easy, normal, or hard. It actually has beginner, standard, or hard.
Yeah, okay.
So whatever. Which provides a number of hearts. So we have hearts.
Yep.
Each time you play a game, fill in 1 heart. A campaign ends if you cross off all your hearts or you finish the final level, which means you have to complete 2 or more schemes on level 6.
Right. For each level, you beat it if you get 2 schemes. If you get 3 schemes, you get the extra, what's it called? The monster.
Gem.
Well,
or extra villainy icon or
Yes.
soul gem. Okay. Start your campaign at level 1. Each level has a specified terrain, 1 to 2 boss cards you may use, and 3 schemes to complete. You may complete multiple schemes in a single game. When you complete a scheme, fill in a soul gem you just earned. You may attempt a level as many times as you want, but may only move on to the next level once you have completed at least 2 schemes from your current level. If you complete all 3, circle the villainy icon on that level. You may also complete side quests during your campaign, and at the end of each game, fill in each space of a completed side quest. If you ended a game with 2 crystals, you would fill in the space level 2 in the crystals row. If you ended a game with 3 size 2 bands, you would fill in the 3 in the bands size 2 row. If you complete all side quests in a row, column, or special sets of side quests, the shaded groups containing a gem, fill in the relevant soul gem. After your campaign is complete, check your score in each of the scoring categories and gain your new title.
Isn't it cool?
Yeah, it's really neat.
I love the campaign. I love the idea of just playing multiple games. And I love getting achievements. So that appeals to me. All right. Let's see what our first lineup is. So we want swamps and forests, if at all possible. Well, there's a forest right off the bat. A purple camp. Or no, I'm sorry, that's a swamp. We're good. A couple of swamps. There's a kobold.
We need that kobold in a forest.
Yeah, but we'd also then need to get a portal to get the kobold into the forest.
I know.
So it's tricky.
Yeah,
You know how it works. Oh, gracious. Speaking of which, all right. So do we grab the kobold right off the bat so that we have it?
Yeah, and then we try and get...
This swamp is going to disappear.
But we have another swamp.
Yeah.
And we're likely to get more swamps.
Yeah.
We just want to... I think getting that kobold is a good idea now and just having him.
Sure. And put that cave
Near the mountains.
Near mountains, just put it here.
Yeah, I
guess.
think that's fine.
Okay. Scooch down.
Oh, and Kazana has separate things, Andy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we can't save things.
What?
Discard and then restock all terrain tiles in the market. Tokens do not get replaced.
Oh.
So tiles get replaced.
Oh, no. That's her reveal mechanic.
Oh,
That's on our
okay.
turn.
We can reveal her.
Reveal her to do that if we so desire.
Okay. And we score +3 for each separate group of exactly 3 tiles of the same terrain type.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
Okay.
All right. So do we want that portal so that we can...
I think we want that
move
portal
things
and
around?
that swamp because we have a second swamp there and we're looking for 3 swamps.
Yeah. Okay. So let's take the swamp and the portal.
Yeah.
Activate the portal.
Because it says build 3 or more swamp tiles worth 9 or more points. So we want, this is going to give us 3 points, right?
Currently, yes.
Right. And we're going to want more swamps. We're probably going to need like 4 swamps to do it, right?
Yeah.
Because there's no other tile. There's
With
no
2
other.
oceans.
Yeah.
Yeah. All those swamps next to each other.
Looks like portals aren't a problem, Andy.
Yeah, we're drawing a lot of portals now. All right, so we need the forest, right?
Yeah, we do. And that portal can't hurt.
Yeah.
So we'll grab that.
Where do you want to put it? Let's put it far away from here.
Yeah, because we want forests to be together. We want a group of 3 forest tiles, and at least 1 forest has a matching kobold.
And it says group. Do you assume that means they need to be next to each other?
I assume so. You're the one with the instruction manual.
I'm looking for deserts. And forests. Forests are scored based on the total number of forests on your map. Deserts are scored based on the size of each connected group of desert tiles.
So a group is connected.
Okay.
May I see the...
Oh, sure. That's the scoring.
Yeah.
I'm going to scooch stuff down. Yeah. All right, so we drew a camp with a red flag.
Yep.
Which has a witch, which we might want, and we got another swamp. So we're gonna grab a swamp, right?
Yeah, I think we should grab the swamp that's going to disappear because otherwise we lose it.
Let's stick it here.
Yep.
Let's move down. This one goes away.
Yep.
Orange flag camp and our first desert of this game.
Yeah.
Okay. So do we want the other swamp?
I think we want the other swamp.
Now where's it going to get us the most points?
It's not a group of swamp tiles. It's just swamp.
Yeah.
I mean, next to any of the oceans will work.
I should have put this there, and then we could have put a swamp here, but whatever.
I mean, we could put the swamp up here.
Yeah, it wouldn't be next to an ocean, but it'd be next to another swamp.
Right. And if we could get another swamp, we could.
Yeah.
Bridge it.
Okay. We'll do that.
Or we could put it over here, and if we don't get another swamp, we don't get another
good
swamp.
Point. Good point.
But it's still next to ocean, so it's still going to be an extra point.
And that's where it tells you the asterisk there.
Yeah. This says for all solo play, gain +2 points if you collect at least 2 graveyards, and +5 if you collect 4 or more.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we should have gotten 2 points less than we got last time.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well. We got 49, not 51. Ding! There's
We're
our mistake
still a
for the
mini
day.
boss according to that. So.
Okay. So, what do we want? I think we want the forest.
I think we want the forest.
And we're making a group of forests.
Yes,
right?
we are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shall we use one of our portals now? Ooh! Or shall we wait? Because you can trade monsters around, so we might want to wait.
I think we want to wait.
We have a graveyard.
Yeah. Because we may end up needing that.
Ah, there's another swamp. And a yellow camp. We haven't taken any of the camps yet.
Mm-mm.
Ah, and we've got a swamp
Crystal.
Wow. On the swamp. That was a lucky draw.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any world where we don't take that.
We take that. We take that right now.
We got a swamp crystal and a swamp.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So what do you think of the game so far?
I like it. It's cute.
Yeah. Like I said, you need to, everybody who's playing, if you're playing competitively, needs to know the scoring rules. Because if they don't, ooh, I like that. It's going to be significantly more difficult. Oh, I like both of those. I'm glad those are way up on the lineup. So
Ooh,
we got a dungeon with a forest crystal, and we got a forest with a kobold.
Okay. I think we take
the dungeon.
Take the dungeon.
Yep.
Yep. And we want it next to 4 different types.
If we can, yeah.
So I would say we might want to put it here or here. Probably here.
Yeah,
because that gives us the most choices for here. Because
Yeah.
we're going to want to put another forest somewhere.
Yeah.
Probably there or there. Because
haven't
right
got-
now the
yeah.
swamp, I think, is getting us over 9 points
Yeah, I think we're there.
total. So we need a forest. Just need a group of 3 forest tiles with a kobold, and we'll have a kobold.
Yep, we've got the portals to do it.
We've even got this forest with a kobold, so we could
Yeah.
just do it.
Yeah. All right, so let's take the dungeon.
Yeah.
Where do you want to put it?
Do we want to put it here?
Sure.
Yeah. And we want to put that forest eventually.
Ooh, another swamp.
Yeah. And we have that swamp crystal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and a witch. Sadly, the witch is in that cave.
Yeah.
But we've got 2 teleporters. All right.
Okay. I say we take the forest with the kobold
Mhm.
there, and we stick it here or here.
Let's stick it there.
Okay.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Now,
let's use one of our portals.
Yeah.
So, 2 portals are a little confusing. Just in that there's a lot of words in the rules. So when you activate a portal, change the positions of up to 2 monsters or mini-bosses on your map. So it's going to move 2 monsters. Maybe we should wait until we've got this witch,
Yeah.
and then we can move her into a swamp.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's not do it now.
Or we can wait until we have that swamp and move the dragon, swap the dragon and the kobold, so that the dragon goes into a cave and the kobold goes into a forest. Does that work?
Yeah?
I'm just thinking.
Yeah. We need to start thinking about building bands.
We also need to think about getting other dungeon types.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah, we can't get that swamp.
Should we grab this cave and the witch?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
let's
put
do
them
that.
there?
Yep.
Or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. Either way is mountains.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we can use a portal and move stuff around.
Yep.
Rejigger things a little bit. Nice, another kobold. And another kobold. All right, so let's use one of our portals.
Yep.
Bzoop. And let's move a kobold to the forest.
Okay.
And a witch to
A swamp.
a swamp.
Sure. So, witch goes to the swamp. Kobold goes to the forest.
Okay.
So now do we choose a tile?
Yes.
I say we choose the graveyard.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter where we put it.
I'm thinking maybe we grab the camp, because that'll get us another kobold. We could put it here.
Sure. We're just going to need a different terrain for that one.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, we could grab the camp next turn.
Yeah,
Okay. We'll take the camp with the kobold.
because I have
Or
a
Camp
plan.
with the
Yeah.
dragon. Yeah, those are coming off the bag.
Yeah.
It's shedding a little bit. Last tile.
Okay.
That actually works out very nicely.
So here's my thinking.
Yeah.
If we grab the camp with that kobold,
Mm-hmm.
we can put the camp here. That gets us our fourth terrain type
Mm-hmm.
next to the monster tile, to the boss tile. And then we can use our second portal to swap this and this. No, we can't.
So I'm thinking, because we just got this forest with a
Yeah.
skeleton, we put the forest there,
Yep.
and then we've got a band of skeletons,
Yeah.
and we don't really have anything else we can ban. Oh, we could move the dragon.
Into a cave.
Well, we could move 2 dragons. Yeah, okay. So let's
Yep.
take this.
Yep. That goes there.
Yep.
Then
and
we
then
use our
we'll
portal.
use our portal and move both dragons to
The two caves. So that they become a band and are in their home territory.
I think that went pretty well.
We got the best crystals for the challenge we were doing.
I know, right? That was weird.
That's ridiculous. All right. So, give me
Scoring
the
sheet.
scoring sheet.
We can use the same one we used last time.
Yep. All right. So, forest. We have 4 forests.
Yep.
So that's 10 points, right?
Yep.
Okay. Swamp.
This is
So
going
we
to be
have
big.
1, 2,
Mm-hmm.
right? 3,
4.
4.
Well, they're going to
Yeah.
score each other. So let's
Yeah.
do. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4
Yep.
oceans.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4 tiles.
Okay.
So that's 8.
Yep.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
That was not bad at all.
Nope. We don't have any camps. We do have caves, though, and they are both next to mountains.
Yep, they're both
So-
1-point caves, so
Okay.
that's 4 points. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They're 2 points for a mountain, so that's 6 points.
And graveyards. We have 1 graveyard. We don't get points for that
Right,
beyond it.
we
We just get the
decided
2-point
We
graveyard.
don't get the 2 points. Yes,
we
I'm
get the
sorry.
two. It's a
We get
2-point
the-
graveyard,
yep,
so we get the
yep.
2-point graveyard.
Yeah.
But we don't get the plus points.
Right.
All right. We have a dungeon, and we get the 5 points for the dungeon.
Yep.
So tile score is 24, 30.
37.
Yep.
Nice.
All right. We don't have any mini bosses.
Nope.
We do have crystals.
Yes.
So let's score our crystals. We have 4
We had
and
8
4.
points.
So 8 points there.
Yeah.
Matching monsters. We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yep.
5.
5.
Bands.
Yep. 1, 2, 3 bands of 2. Bands of 2 are worth 2 points, so that's 6 points.
Okay. Token score is going to be
19.
19, yep.
Our boss.
Yeah, score +3 for each separate group of exactly 3 tiles of the same terrain type. We don't have any exactly 3s. We have 4s.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
$37 and 19.
56.
Yeah, sounds right to me.
All right, so we built a group of 3 plus forest tiles, one of which has
a
kobold in it.
Yep.
We built 3 or more swamp tiles worth 9 plus points.
Yep, they were worth 14 total.
Yeah, they were. And we scored more than 50 points.
Yeah. Yes, we clobbered that level.
And we're boss monsters according to this because we got over 54 points.
That was awesome. Do you want to keep going? What time is it?
8:43.
Do you think there's time for one more game? It'll be more complicated because
Yeah.
it's going to be new land types.
We've got to then strip all the land types out of here and swap them over. I say let's wait and maybe do that next week.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can continue with level 2 next week.
So level 2, we actually have 2 options for our boss.
Okay.
We could have Kirax, who is a gold dragon. Excuse me. Or Cleopatra, who is a mummy.
And what are their abilities?
So their reveal abilities for Cleopatra is you may use any token in your lair as if it were an unused portal, even a used portal, but then you return that token to the bag after using it. So you can reuse a used portal and then toss it back in the bag to get again. And at the end, you score +1 for each matching monster on your map.
Interesting.
Kirax, slide on his reveal, slide one of your tiles into an open space bordering it. Any tokens with that tile travel with it. So you get to sculpt your board a little bit. And score the following based on the number of tile types, including dungeons, you have on your board. If you have 4 tiles on a 3x4 board, you get +4 points.
Before we do anything else, no, continue reading. But
if you have 5 tile types on a 3x4 board, you get 5 points. 6 tile types on a 3x4 board, you get 6 points. And then that goes to 5, 6, and 8 on the 4x4 board.
Okay. Did we get any achievements?
Let's see. So, we didn't get any mini bosses, but we had 2 crystals, right?
Yes. So in the 2 crystal, yeah.
We need to fill that in. Matching monsters. We didn't have more than 2.
We had 3.
Oh,
1,
yeah.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, awesome. So, yeah, we get to fill that in. Bands, size 2. We had 3. Band size 3, we didn't have any 3s or 4s. Right?
Right.
Okay. So yeah, we did get 3 of those. None of them filled in anything that has a gem next or in it. But hey, that's things that we've done.
Yep.
Go us.
Some achievements. I really, really like the campaign mode. I'm also really enjoying the dungeons. They're very much Zelda dungeons.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. That is so a Zelda
I just want to
dungeon
sit
entrance.
and look at the
art.
The art.
While I sort stuff, because we have to put stuff back in the box.
Yeah.
You've got the scoring rules for all the other lands. Do you want to review
let's look at what the other lands are.
Other land types?
So, we've done dungeons, we've
types?
done forests, we've done graveyards, we've done camps, caves, and swamps. We also have castles. They each have a base value of 2 points. Each castle is worth another 2 points if it has a vampire token on it for a maximum of 4 points. This does not include the point the vampire would get for being a matching monster.
Right.
So, yeah.
So you get the matching monster, but you get an extra 2 points for putting a vampire in a castle.
Yeah. Volcanoes each have a base value of 4 points. After placing a volcano on your map, return all bordering monsters or mini-boss tokens to the bag.
Yep.
So they give you extra points per tile, but at the cost of monsters that you would have out.
Right. So you either want to draft them early game.
Yep.
Or have a way to move monsters back into those spaces.
Yeah. Summoning circles each have a base value of 1 point. When you place a summoning circle on your map, you may immediately exchange either a token placed on top of it or a token bordering it with one from the market. And deserts are scored based on the size of each connected group of desert tiles. Connected tiles. Oh, yeah. They share a border. And, yeah, it goes up based on how many you have.
But floating cities. Cloud cities.
Cloud islands. Each have a base point of 7 points. Each cloud island loses 1 point for every non-cloud island type on your map, including dungeons.
Yeah.
You're bringing it down, man.
So you want to specialize if you're doing cloud islands.
Yeah. Neat.
Yeah. It's a really cute, fun, quick game. Like, we played 3 games back to back, or no, 2 games.
2 games back to back.
And it didn't take that long. Definitely the campaign mode is very cool.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to, if we can, beating the campaign mode and getting our title.
Yeah. I just want to sit and look through the tiles, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you could do that.
I'm gonna. Oh.
I'm curious about, because in the instructions, they give the name of one of the mini-bosses. I'm assuming...
There's a wiki somewhere.
Yeah,
we can look them up.
That they have a list of the names for all of the mini-bosses.
Yeah. I do love that all of these are just very dangerous places for that you're making your terrain more difficult for adventurers.
Oh, of course.
Gotta give them a challenge, man.
That's what Boss Monster is all about.
Yeah.
I love the art. This is something that Brotherwise is so good at.
They're really good at this.
Is just the
Are there other user-generated campaigns? I would guess so. Probably. This is a fairly new game.
Out in February.
So there are probably ones that, like, people who got to play test it have put together, because playtesters like that sort of thing. But yeah, I'm assuming there will be more as time goes on. People will come up with sort of challenge runs for it.
And like I said, there's another land type that doesn't come in the box. It's a promo. We'll have to reach out to Brotherwise and see how we can get that, since we can't go to conventions.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, where's the forest crystal and the swamp crystal? They're still on the board.
Yeah, well, we did luck out with that, didn't we? Cool. Well, thank you for grabbing this, Andy.
Oh, you're welcome. I think we're going to get hours of enjoyment out of this.
I'm just sad we're going to have to wait to play it with, like, John and Travis.
Yeah. But we'll get to.
Yes.
Eventually we'll get to. And I really think that the best way to learn is to do a single player game.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we spent like half an hour going over the scoring rules for each different type of terrain,
no,
it would be gone from your mind before you actually started playing.
I mean, that's how things normally are when I just sit and have to listen to like rules. My brain does not retain them.
So you can play with random terrain, which is kind of cool. The command cards seem like a really spiky thing to play with.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool that they're an option, I guess. But, I don't know. I'm not all about messing with my friends in that way. Like when we were playing Neom.
Yeah.
We kept trying to avoid the disasters.
Yeah. Yeah, we did.
It was a great game.
Oh, there are tiles on the board.
Just looking at all the art.
Yeah.
There's a lot of art.
Can I see the mini boss tokens?
I just put them away. Here.
I'm betting they each match up with one of these.
The dungeons? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure I'm right that dungeons can't even hold mini bosses. Yeah. Mini bosses are 2 points each. Do not band and do not match with terrain. And can't go in dungeons. Dungeons are just empty space on your board, but worth 5 points if you can surround it with other stuff. So do the monsters seem to go with the dungeons?
Well, there's 2 more dungeons than there are mini boss tokens, so like I'm pretty sure those all go together, but we have these 2 that don't seem to actually. She probably goes in here. Maybe they'll be promo mini bosses.
Could well be. Could well be.
I could see that.
Hi, Clara. She's come out and is just lying on the floor here next to us.
Just lounging around. Being cute.
All right, so what land is that? Wait, something has to go on. Oh, those are the dungeons.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we have deserts.
Okay. You get sandworms. And the desert crystal.
Yep.
Dragons go in caves. It's a good box.
Yeah. I love game trays. So satisfying.
Yeah. Can I have graveyards?
All right. Yeah.
Even the volcanoes are all unique.
Yeah.
No. Stack of goblins. Going camps. Oh, thank you for the bits.
Thank you for the bits.
And we will definitely play this with you sometime, Lobster.
Yeah.
Why can't I get this to go in?
Thank you. We are looking forward to it too. Someday.
Yep. Some not too far away day, I hope. Cool. All right, so let's put the bosses in their tray. There we go.
Where's the pad go?
So there's another
Tray underneath that one?
tray underneath this one.
Oh, the elegance of design.
It's got spaces for the boards. So this maybe goes on top.
Yeah, I think. No, because this is supposed to sit on this.
Okay.
So we've got boards.
Bag. I guess the pad goes here.
Yeah. Yep.
Bag goes there.
Yep.
And there's more spaces for an expansion.
Yeah. There we go.
Excellent. Overboss.
Super fun.
Yeah.
That was really
I'm
cute.
glad you had fun.
Yeah.
We should play Call to Adventure more. I think we've got one of the expansions for it that I kickstarted. So
Yeah.
It's another Brotherwise game. It's a storytelling adventure game. But we'll play more of this next week.
Yeah.
See if we can do level 2.
Sounds
Maybe
good.
level 3. We'll see how we do.
We'll find out.
In the meantime, we're going to call it a night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope folks enjoyed watching us play. And Amanda will be streaming in
An hour.
an hour. Excuse me, almost exactly an hour.
Yeah.
She'll be reading another chapter in Shatterglass.
Yeah.
Which is the last of the Circle Opens books by Tamara Pierce. And then we've got 2 more books in that series that are currently
3.
available. 3. There's
Battle
Will of the
Magic,
Empress,
Melting Stones, Will
Oh.
of the Empress.
I forgot about Battle Magic because that
It's
book
okay.
is so traumatic, and
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna kill all of us.
okay.
Or we're gonna need to have like a cry it out session after the fact.
Okay. In the meantime, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you with more Overboss next week. Good night, everybody.